If every morning your first few steps out of bed feel like you're stepping on a nail, or your heel hurts every time you get up after sitting for a while, there's a good chance you're dealing with plantar fasciitis. The good news is that plantar fasciitis is one of the most treatable foot conditions. But to recover successfully, you first need to understand what's actually happening inside your body. In this video, I'll explain what plantar fasciitis is, why it develops, and why many of the old ideas about this condition have changed over the past several years. Understanding these concepts will make the rest of this recovery program much easier to follow. The plantar fascia is not a muscle. It's a thick, strong band of connective tissue that attaches to the inside of the heel bone, runs along the bottom of the foot, and extends towards the toes. Its job is to support the arch of our foot, absorb forces during walking and running, and help our foot act like a spring every time we push off the ground. A good way to picture it is to imagine your foot like a bridge. The arch is the bridge itself, and the plantar fascia is the strong support cable underneath it that holds everything up while storing and releasing energy with each step. So what is plantar fasciitis? For many years, we believed it was simply inflammation of the plantar fascia. We now know the story is a little bit more complicated. Plantar fasciitis exists on a spectrum. In the early stages, there may be inflammation, but in people who have had pain for months or even years, the tissue often develops a more chronic degenerative change. This makes sense because many people live with plantar heel pain for months before seeking treatment. In fact, some studies suggest the average person has symptoms for nearly a year before finally getting help. By that point, the condition has often become much more chronic. The good news is that plantar fasciitis is extremely common, and we know a lot about how to treat it successfully. About 1 in 10 people will experience plantar fasciitis at some point during their lifetime. Certain people are at a higher risk, including runners, people whose jobs require prolonged standing or walking, individuals with higher body mass index, and those with limited ankle mobility or tight calf muscles. One of the most common questions I get is about foot posture. What if I have flat feet? What if I have high arches? The reality is that everyone's feet are built a little differently. Flat feet, high arches, or the way your foot moves can influence how forces are distributed throughout the foot, but they usually aren't the whole story. There are plenty of people with flat feet who never develop plantar fasciitis, and plenty of people with high arches who don't develop it either. Today, we think of plantar fasciitis primarily as a load management problem. In other words, the plantar fascia is being asked to handle more stress than it's currently prepared for. That can happen because of an increase in running, spending more time on your feet at work, changes in activity levels, or a combination of several different factors. Understanding that concept is important because it helps explain why treatment isn't just about reducing pain. It's about improving the plantar fascia's ability to tolerate load again. I hope this video helped you better understand what plantar fasciitis is. In the next video, we'll talk about how plantar fasciitis typically presents, the symptoms you should look for, and how to tell whether your heel pain is coming from the plantar fascia.